We have a fairly simple question today. It says find the highest altitude. So a biker goes on a road trip and the road trip consists of n plus 1 points at different altitude, and the biker starts his trip at point 0 with altitude equal to 0. We are given an array of integer called gains, where gain of I is the net gain in altitude between position I and position I plus 1. We need to return the highest point of in the highest altitude of the point. So for instance, we have given gain as minus 5 1 5 0 negative 7. Okay, so initially my altitude was 0. When the biker crosses this point, the net altitude becomes 5 and the gain again is 1, so my net altitude becomes negative 4. Following this, my net altitude becomes 1. We are doing altitude is equal to altitude plus gain of I. Okay, then my altitude becomes 1 and then it becomes 6. Okay, so when my rider goes initially at altitude 0, the gain is minus 5. So my net altitude is minus 5. Post that, he gets a gain of 1, resulting in an altitude of negative 4. Following which he gains a gain of 5, leading to an altitude of 1. Later he earned a gain of 0. The altitude remains constant. Post that, the altitude is negative 7, sorry, the gain is negative 7, so my final altitude is minus 6. Now I need to return the maximum altitude. So let my maximum altitude maxi is equal to 0. So what I do at each step, I do maxi is equal to max of maxi comma altitude. So when he is at this position, the maximum altitude is 0. Over here 0 as well. Over here this is 1. The maximum altitude is 1 and this is 1. So after coming out of this loop, it returns a maximum altitude of 1. So I'll code this. So it's a very basic question. Only these two conditions are required. So over here I create a variable called altitude, which is initially set to 0, and a variable called maxi, which is also initially set to 0. So I do for g in gain, sorry, my altitude is equal to altitude plus gain, and my maxi would be the maximum of maxi and altitude. And after coming out of this for loop, I return maxi.